And I'd like to say that things got better from there, but it didn't. In fact, it got worse. Because when they recommended that I get a DNC is when when you are pregnant or seem to be pregnant, because then there's an issue of like molar pregnancy. There's tissue in there that it's not really fully a fetus, but a DNC is when they go and they clean out your uterus of anything that may have been in there, just to make sure that it's clean. And I refused a DNC at that time. What ended up happening because I refused the DNC is that I just, I wanted, to go through the process of having a natural childbirth or the natural process of miscarriage. I just didn't want to do anything external to keep God's miracle from happening, right? I mean, I'm telling you, we were standing on the word, and we wanted God to change the situation around regardless of what the doctors were saying about my hormone levels. I really wanted God to just change it all around. For me at that time, the DNC was just kind of taking care of it for myself. And please, 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 don't feel guilty if this is something that you've done. I'm not talking about that. As a matter of fact, later, I'm not going to get into it today, but later in my life, I did actually get a DNC because I had a molar pregnancy. But even if you didn't have a molar pregnancy, a DNC, I don't want anybody to feel guilty for having that. Okay, I'm just telling you what I went through at that time. But because I opted to go through like a natural miscarriage, it became one of the most painful things I had ever gone through. I bled for like 8 weeks straight. And the last few weeks were so painful. I was taking Tylenol, for the pain. I think at one point they gave me codeine for the pain. The pain was intense and excruciating. And I remember Josh completely feeling like helpless, like he didn't know what to do to take the pain away. Even like we had to go on like one of these big family vacations, and I would try. I remember being on a vacation with family and just trying to smile through the pain, the emotional pain and the physical pain. And I'd go back to my hotel room and take more Tylenol, and Josh would just try and help comfort me through the pain. It was such a painful time. I was believing God, you guys. I was believing God He would come through for us. And then it just got to the point, after 8 weeks of bleeding, and it sort of fizzled out, and it was just like, this is not happening. And honestly, the next few months are kind of like a blur. I was so mad at God for not coming through for me. I don't even know how I got through my life groups. During that time, I struggled so hard. I struggled to teach because I was so hurt. I was in pain. I couldn't pray. I remember during the process, and I don't exactly know if it was before or after this, I remember having some books, and there were 3 of them that I had over the course of this time. And one is Hannah's Hope, Story of Hannah, The Infertility Companion, and there's actually a 3rd one. I couldn't find it. I have it somewhere. I know I have it because I never got rid of it. It's called When the Cradle is Empty, Coping with Infertility. I only mention those books not because I read them and they helped me. I mention those books because I had them and I couldn't read them. But if they help somebody, I got them for a reason. Can't say honestly I recommend them. I only say them because maybe perhaps they help somebody. But I could just never get through them. I just couldn't. I couldn't read about infertility. I couldn't read about God and infertility. And I just remember trying to get through it and just not being able to get through any of those books. If they help somebody, look, I just know that they're a part of my journey because I tried. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I know I wasn't going to make it through this whole testimony about how I came out because it's just too long. So in my next moment with Marcy, I'm going to tell you how I got out of this hole. I like to say that the end of the story is having children, but that's not how I got through this. There was just more to it that I had to get through. My journey continued, and so I'll tell that next time. I just wanted to be to encourage you guys with especially with Psalm 15, because that was a real turning point for me about what it takes to ascend to God's holy hill. And for me, it was that oath that I made to God. God sees oath and covenant as something, and commitment and devotion, something very, like, it's all throughout the Bible, right? The covenant and, being devoted to him. And to me, Psalm 15 was just was a game changer for me. Even though it didn't change everything right away, it still became a part of my turning point. Anyway, be encouraged, you guys. I'll tell more later in the next part, okay? Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next moment with Marcy. God bless you.